Hey guys, you're watching Daniel and Gian talk, and today we're going to be doing a full review of Chennai Express. I've seen some comments where people are unhappy about us reviewing this film. Some of it has to do with sensitivity from the Southern Indians. The film misrepresents Southern India, and they found it a bit offensive. The only reason why we're doing this, guys, is because you voted on it, and we've noticed when an army goes after it, maybe this was the SRK army, that film gets selected. At the end of the day, we put a poll up every week for different things. You guys vote on it. So if you want us to watch something different, you got to get your goons together and make sure that the thing wins, because we're trying to have you guys interact with us. So if you don't want to watch a review, that sucks, but we'll see you on the next one. But what do you think?
Describe Chennai Express in one word.
Guilty pleasure.
It's not
That's
one word,
2
but I'll
words.
accept it. If you were to describe this movie to a friend, how would you do it? Who's not familiar with Indian cinema, who's not familiar with whatever.
I might.
And would you?
I might catch some heat for this, but I would tell them that your preconceived notions of Bollywood films is this. This solidified that stereotype that we had before we started the channel.
Would you recommend it to a friend?
No. I would not recommend it to a friend, no. Not as their first introduction into this type of film, no. Like Indian cinema, no, not at all. It's not it's not what I would submit to the Oscars to represent the country.
Oh, I'm not saying because it's a good movie.
No, I'm just saying I would not recommend the film at all. I think
favorite moment.
I like the opening train sequence with him and the
goons,
the Tamilians. Yeah.
He gives her the hand, and then he's like, and he keeps giving him
that
more.
That shit was hilarious. Yeah, they keep running. He's like, God damn it. He's like, all right, come on. Yeah.
And then he gets off, and he can't get off.
Yeah.
I love that scene too, especially after watching Kalank, which I know you haven't seen. But the end of Kalank, there's a similar scene that plays out.
Right.
And so the whole we obviously know the historical context of the movie. Pakistan, India, right on the verge of Independence Day, and so there's the tensions are at their highest, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a love story between an Indian or a Hindu and a Muslim.
Right.
That's what the focus is. This is Kalank. And then they're on a train station, and it's the same thing. The Indians or the Hindu, is on the train, and then they grab hands, and then someone beats him up, and whatever. They ultimately don't get on the train together.
Yeah.
But this train is 30 miles long.
Right.
Because it's like Fast and the Furious, where they're on the runway for 20 minutes, even though the runway is 2 miles long. So it was like that. So they were playing. I feel like Chennai knew this, and then anyway. Worst moment of the movie.
His monologue at the end of the film where he starts chastising everyone. And he drops the I love her line
When he's beaten up, the fight?
Before the fight starts. Yeah, that right there was the worst part of the film for me, because no matter what you want to say about everything that happened beforehand, it was all pretty tonally consistent. And then all of a sudden, this part happens, and it's
his hero moment.
His hero moment just really just breaks.
So what would have been better? Because he had to fall in love with her.
And he could have. He could have fallen in love with her before that happened, I think. And
you don't think he did?
No, I don't think so. I think I think the montage, the music video before, when they're driving, is when he finally realizes how he feels about her. But I think that everything that had happened so far was accidental. His hero moments were all accidents. And I think you could have continued with that, because.
But then how does he have an arc?
Does he really need to have that? I don't think this completed his arc. This is the thing. I think he accepts that, him accepting that he actually loves her, and that the reason why he's goes through all of this shit is because he's falling for her, was good enough for me. Him having to tell us, the audience, and everyone on the screen, that now.
Well, doesn't he have to express to the village?
No.
Why not?
No. What does he gain from that?
I think A, that's what makes the movie. B,
I don't think it makes a movie.
B, I think, despite what people may or may not think of it, and I'm obviously my sample size is really small, but from the Tamil films I've seen, that's a trope.
Okay.
And this movie was 100,000% inspired by Tamil cinema.
Right, which is why I was dedicated to Rajnikant.
100% dedicated, and that's actually one of the things I enjoyed about it, because I know you haven't seen that many Tamil films,
Right.
Tamil films. It's actually that, but throughout the whole fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
So this was actually, and maybe that's why people from the South didn't like the movie, because it was trying to be something it wasn't. Because it was definitely this mixture, this hybrid.
Well, there's, I've noticed comments about the stereotypes, and I'm not familiar enough yet to pick up on what the stereotypes were. So like,
well, I mean, I don't know them either, but there's definitely the language thing
right.
that no one
But that's not a
understands.
stereotype, though, right?
No, well, I'm saying, well, they embraced it
Right.
for the film.
Because he didn't understand them either. That wasn't like.
I know, but there's also lines where he's like, that's how he's.
Well,
That's what he does.
Yeah, the name when he's like butchering the name.
But that's the whole that's the.
Okay,
That's
I can see that now. I didn't think about that. Yeah,
but that's
a bit offensive. It's a bit.
But
offensive.
I guess I'm just not as sensitive to things like that.
Well, I mean, he's just saying that their names were really long and complicated.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so but if you grow up and your name is long and complicated, and someone's telling you, but you don't think that it is, and someone's telling you that it is, I mean, you can see how that might be offensive in some way or another.
No, I can't.
But it's like
because my first name is fucking white as shit, and then I have
and your middle name, whatever it is,
Christopher.
Yes.
And I have a Spanish last name.
Right.
So my name, I have identity problems anyway.
Absolutely.
So for me, I don't get offended by any of this shit.
And I think that's where you're a fake brown person comes into play. Where
hey, be it as it may, whatever you call it.
Like I can tell you, my name has been butchered my whole life, and it's like it affected me to the point where I started going by my middle name because people kept on fucking up the first part of my name.
Daniel and Gian.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying I relate to what people are saying here, like because you didn't take the time, or you didn't even bother taking the time to try to figure out how to say my name. You didn't ask someone how to pronounce my name in practice. I take pride in trying to pronounce people's names and words properly. Because I know from like personal experience, like it's annoying when people keep chewing up your fucking name.
I go by the name you introduced me as.
Okay.
If you don't introduce me as something else, that's what it is.
And that's fine. I'm not saying you personally.
I'm letting you know. Like
Okay.
that's how I.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I think that people who were offended are people who are just more sensitive, and that's okay to be sensitive. People are going to be triggered by the fact that I just said they're sensitive, as if being sensitive is wrong.
Right.
Being sensitive there's nothing wrong with being sensitive. I'm just saying that I picked up on the stereotypes, not all of them, but I didn't get offended by them. I'm also not from that country.
Yeah.
I'm an outsider, so of course I'm probably not going to be offended by it. But even if it were a Mexican film, and they were calling him Jose,
there's a difference between being offended and like understanding why someone might be offended. That's two different things.
I get why they might be offended.
Yeah.
I just don't agree with it. I don't think it's something to be offended of. Like I would be offended if like the scene with the little person, the dwarf. I don't know what that was a commentary on. I don't know what so if there's some hidden layered meaning there.
Yeah, please let us know in the comments.
But I'm saying if there's something
Yeah.
there, and like maybe that's supposed to be an amalgamation of people you might find in the South or something. This is what I projected.
Yeah.
Because I have no idea how to interpret that scene.
Yeah, because that kind of came out of nowhere and it never got touched on again.
But if they're making that type of commentary, then okay, that's maybe something to be a little bit offensive.
Right.
Well, but I don't know. I don't understand. Like, is it because is the dwarf mentally challenged?
Maybe there's a bunch of like jungle pygmies out there and they talk in
That's
cliques.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If there's something there, or like is it a commentary on education? Like I don't know. Is it an education commentary? Is it a
Or maybe Rohit Shetty thinks that dwarves / midgets are funny, and
it could be as simple as that.
Yeah.
It could be 100%. The fact that Zero was made into a movie, which is not a Rohit Shetty film, but it's a Red Chili's film,
maybe it's
starring
SRK.
SRK.
Yeah.
The fact that they made a film with dwarves and they used it in the manner that they did lets you know where India is socially. And this is not a fucking commentary and negative commentary. I'm just saying. Because in America, that shit wouldn't fly.
Can't get away with that, yeah.
And that doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It's just socially, we're so fucking progressive, and it's so, like, and I think the left dictates so many of these things because we're offended by all these things. We don't want to offend handicapped people. We don't want to offend fat people. We don't want to offend brown people. We don't want to offend all of these people that it's caused studios to not do the things that they used to do in America.
Right.
Because the fact I feel like the last time a dwarf was used negatively and it received backlash was in the Leonardo DiCaprio Scorsese movie Wolf of Wall Street when they were throwing the dwarf as a dart. But that was exemplifying times prior to that.
I didn't know that it caught heat.
It 100% did.
Did
Dude, it's dwarf. They're throwing dwarves. I think they even call it like midget darts or something.
Yeah, but the guy showed up to the party to be thrown that way. He knew he was getting paid.
I know, and it's also a movie. But I'm just saying,
it's like criticizing prostitutes for being prostitutes.
But the absurdity
you're offending prostitutes by sleeping with them.
The absurdity of the scene is it probably happened. Right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, name me another movie where prior to that you can't.
Elf? I don't know.
But Elf's different. But there were dwarves in James Bond and shit where it was like normal for them to be like Mini-Me maybe was the last.
R.I.P. Shea Villachez.
Is that what his name was?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mini-Me from Austin Powers.
Those Villachez.
That's comedy right there. So like, but it's different. It's like Game of Thrones.
You're probably not going to see that on American screens again.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Game of Thrones dwarf is like very, very well fleshed out and like
the American populace is, and when I talk about sensitivity, is more sensitive towards subjects like that. What did you feel about the Friends never being brought back?
That didn't bother me. I think the second he lost his phone, that was.
I mean,
it was kind of weird that they didn't even go even look for him or anything. Or
I'm not saying that we needed to have a full story with them trying to find him because they're probably like whatever. They're all adults, but it would have been cool if he was able to bring her back. Yeah, and they were to go to Goa together. Right. I think that would have been a cool ending.
Absolutely.
Way better than how it ended now. Because I think the ending right now is weak.
Yeah.
Like how it actually ends, like him fighting and stuff like that. I think that was all justified. I think it was necessary, but him not.
I mean, I feel like this needed a Surratt ending,
where they all died.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been something else.
Me watching it the whole time, I'm like, I know he's not gonna die, but wouldn't it be cool right now
if he died?
Like if that dude, that fucking Indian giant.
Fucking what's his name?
How tall is that guy? Holy shit, man!
He's from the. What's the dude in WWE?
No, but that guy's got giantism at least.
But what's his name?
The Great Khali, yeah.
Khali, yeah.
Yeah.
They must have the same bloodline.
Well, this guy doesn't have giantism though. He's just big.
Or SRK's short.
Yeah, or SRK's short.
And they just didn't put flats on him for that scene.
But had that guy when he picked up the knife, fucking plunged it through his back.
I love their uses of the knives and shit and the swords and their fucking machetes. Because in every Tamil film, that's the weapon of choice. So do you think
that's also a stereotypical thing?
Probably.
That people were
I would 100% say yes.
About.
I would absolutely say yes. And their style of dress and just the way that the goons look a certain way or a certain skin color and 100%.
Right.
But when I watch Tamil cinema, that's what they fucking look like.
Yeah.
That's what made me excited for this movie. I'll get shit and flamed on the comments, whatever. I don't care. Watching SRK in a Southern film made by Rohit Shetty honestly, genuinely made me excited. Yeah. It's really fucking weird because those words never would have came out of my mouth 3 years ago. Who the fuck's SRK? Who's Rohit Shetty? What are fucking Tamilian gangsters? What the fuck?
We put out that reaction to the Dubai video, and there's still people commenting on it every couple of weeks.
He's famous.
He's the biggest star in the world.
Don't you know?
God damn it. Look at the dates on the films, guys.
But I'm just saying.
Some slack, man.
All of those elements together genuinely made me. That's why I put for those who are wondering, why would you put. Because of that. I wanted to see it anyway. Yeah. Because of what I watched the Tamil gangster films. And that's how they are. Right. So I'm like, ooh, because honestly, I was expecting this movie to go a little more dark. If there was one issue with it, I wish it would have went a little bit more dark.
Well, then that's
still be playful, still be innocent,
and that's
still
why
be whatever,
that's why that end speech kind of bothered me because it never went to this dark place, and all of a sudden it went serious. Just to set up that final fucking fist fight, which is cliche as shit, and then it ends up on a happy note as well.
It was supposed to be cliche though.
Yeah, I know. It was supposed to be, and that's fine, but it just didn't. For me, didn't work for me, man.
I think what it needed was I think it nailed the Tamil cinema part in terms of capturing the essence, because it's not a Tamil film. We know that. Yeah. And if anyone out there thought it was, I think they were just not really analyzing the film for what it is.
Yeah.
It's inspired by, and it captures the essence of, like, when you watch a movie from Tamil cinema, you might feel similarly.
Right.
From the sound design, the special effects, the way the camera was moving, the editing, the shot selections, the use of slow motions, like when they were introducing the main villain, like these are all tropes that I've identified already as a part of Southern cinema, without a shadow of a doubt. And this film captured those and nails it. What I think this film was missing.
Got better sound design though, right?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. But they use similar sound effects and stuff, and like they're
yeah,
even
but the
moments of,
audio
like,
itself wasn't.
But there were moments, ADR moments, where like they had SRK like, like, which are like completely.
Right.
I felt like were added in to make it even more over the top. But what I think is missing is like that injection of Hindi cinema to make it a little bit more. Grounded's not the word I want to use, but just a little bit darker, just a little bit more stakes and something, you know. Maybe SRK had a friend. Maybe he met a friend. He like the cop. Maybe that cop could have been a part of the story.
Who doesn't come back either.
He does at the end and he runs away. But I'm just saying, like, something. Maybe he were to get killed or something were to happen that would change SRK's life to let him know, like, oh, this shit's real.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, him getting beat up and chased and all these things, that makes it real, but to go to that other level, it makes it a little bit, I mean, even, I don't know, just even if they captured him or, like, beat him up or did something, I don't know, I'm just saying, there's something else there that could have been there that could have really made this film even better than what it was. Because, like, overall, it's a dumb movie, but it's a fun, dumb movie for me.
Right.
Like, because I enjoyed it, but I never, at no point was I like, God damn. This is just the epitome of like cinema in India. Like every film should be modeled after this. Like it was exactly what I was expecting.
Right.
I don't know.
This was the first time where like I feel like we really see SRK's comedic skills, and his face is perfect for these type of films.
100%.
You know, like his mannerisms and everything. Like it's kind of disappointing that, you know, everything that people recommend to us is always some sort of romance with him, because it's like, this felt like his wheelhouse.
Like this is a comedy actor.
Yeah, exactly. Like what I saw
appealing to the masses.
Exactly. What I felt from his performance was like, okay, I get it. And other film, him being like a heartthrob, or I guess we haven't really seen him being a heartthrob.
We haven't, because we haven't seen his earlier works.
No, but like this felt, you know, not My Name is Khan.
Which there's a reference to that.
Which, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Which just lets you know, like, how aware of itself the movie is. Which is why it bothers me when people saying they're so, like, triggered by the representation of the South. It's like the movie knows what it's supposed to be. Which is why I won't shit on this movie as much as I would a Kalank. Because Kalank is trying to be a serious movie from the beginning to the end. This movie at no point is ever trying to be serious.
No, definitely
it knows
not.
exactly what it's supposed to be, and it does exactly that, and it keeps it tonally consistent for a majority of the film, if not the entire film. You disagree in some moments, but for the most part, it sticks the landing. It took off with the goal, and it landed with the goal, and it never deviated.
So what do you think of the use of the voiceover the whole time? Like, the whole time I was expecting to have, you know, How I Met Your Mother moment.
I mean,
like
personally,
talking to his grandkids
if
or
that
something.
was a way to keep the movie short,
Like,
I'm on board. Like, this could have been a 3-hour movie, and they just cut it and added voiceover.
Absolutely, yeah.
I enjoyed them talking via song. That was cool.
That was a good way of incorporating the songs without going into full song. Even though they ended up doing it anyways
towards the end,
film,
but it was towards the end.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed that. But it also solidified the language differences as well.
Right.
Which, you know, we might not 100% have picked up on it had they not included that.
Yeah.
Because for us, A, it all sounds the fucking same, and B, it's all subtitled. So
Yeah.
we really wouldn't... Like, we'd pick up on the context and based on what they're saying, but if they didn't say shit, if they never mentioned it...
Yeah, it wouldn't have had an effect, as big an effect anyways.
So...
Which is funny, because I feel like that this movie wasn't made for us, obviously.
100% wasn't made for us.
But they still felt the need to...
But that's mass... making cinema for the masses.
Yeah.
And that's what Rohit Shetty does. He makes mass cinema for the masses. What do you think of the action scenes? I thought they were lacking one key component, but overall I thought they were shot well. I thought they were done well.
They were fun.
They missed one thing. for me.
And I can't really think off the top of my head. I can't really think of like.
They didn't show enough of the people involved in the action.
Oh, you thought they were too busy without like giving.
They were doing they. They were so focused on showing the action that it was real, and this is like, here's the car flips, and here's like this moment, that they forgot about the characters involved, and that's what elevates the actions, in my opinion.
Okay.
Like The Dark Knight, one of the best sequences is the whole troop when Harvey Dent gets transported.
Now there's a Batman. Who you want to play? Come on. Come on.
And the reason why I think it's so great, yes, the action's great. Yes, they really flip the truck. Yes, like there's a helicopter, like there's eventful things going on. But you're always checking in with Batman. You're always checking in with like surroundings of like the criminals.
You're remembering
the Joker,
who the players involved are.
but you're in the moment with them. You're reacting with them. Like there's the moment where like Batman blows his car up and then he pulls the chopper out, right? And there's the kids and they're watching and shit. And then it blows up and they drive by.
I think I wasn't involved enough in this film to really pay attention to that aspect of it, because I kind of, within the first 10 minutes, I kind of wrote it off, you know? Like I stopped kind of looking at it. I had to shut my brain off to get through the film because it was that bad.
No, I'm not, and I'm not saying all this stuff to comment on the movie. This is more of a teaching lesson for like the viewers out there listening.
Yeah.
Like when you do action scenes, it's important to do reactions. Like the reason why The Hobbit wasn't as good as Lord of the Rings is not because of the story. It's not because of the CGI. It's not because of these things, in my opinion. It's because their action scenes, you never see reaction and then action. Like that, if you watch all the Lord of the Rings fights, it's always like a shot of Aragorn like screaming or whatever. He's like doing, but it's close up, and then it goes wide, and then it goes back in to check on him and how this event might have affected him. In The Hobbit, it's like all wide, it's all spectacle. So it removes that layer.
It removes the emotion.
So you're disconnected.
Yeah.
And as a result of you being disconnected, you feel like there's something not working, when in reality, the action works.
Right.
You're just losing that disconnect, or you're losing that connection. That's all I wanted to say. What would you rate this film?
It's going to be tough.
Okay, let's do two. Let's put an at. What would you rate this film as a film guy?
As a film guy, probably like a 4.5. I'll just say 4.5.
Do you think this film was a success despite it being a 4? Do you think it set out to and it achieved what it wanted to do?
I think people genuinely enjoyed the film. They had a good time watching it. The film was supposed to be a good time. It was a good time. I'm not going to deny that. I had a good time watching it. On a analytical, on a critical level, you know.
I kind of disagree. I think the film, compared to other films, is not a good film. But if you take into consideration what it was supposed to be, and it captures those moments, and it does do them, can I rate it that low? I don't know. Because it knew what it wanted to be.
We're given 2 ratings here, though, so...
I know, as a film, I'm with you. Like,
it's kind of like, I mean, if we're going to contextualize everything, are we saying in this kind of film compared to other kinds of film like this, where does it rate? Then it's up there. It's like a 9.
Like if you're looking at it isolated from everything else.
I mean,
you've never seen another piece of cinema.
This is the only film like this I have seen so far since we've been doing these. This is the first time I've come across basically a slapstick, over the top comedy from India. So I have no context or comparison to it. What I did see, I thought it was funny. Would I want to watch more movies like this? I probably not.
No, you wouldn't.
No,
I know you wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. But you saw the whatever 3.
Sarkar.
No,
3?
Not Sarkar 3 or Race 3. The comedy you went and saw in the theater.
Total Demal.
Total Demal 3. Like, this is what I think It would be that type of film. Would you want to see another film like this?
Yeah, I did. Simba.
Okay.
No, but like
Was
sing
Simba
'em-
funny though?
Yeah,
Okay,
but
didn't know that.
I didn't like Simba though.
I didn't know Simba was a comedy. I don't know if it was Simba supposed to be a comedy.
Yeah,
This
it's a
one,
Rohit Shetty film. That's what I'm trying. Like that's what I'm trying to convey. Like,
Okay.
it's like watching a Michael Bay movie, right?
Uh-huh.
You're gonna expect explosions.
Yes.
You're gonna expect stereotypical dialogue, macho dudes, hot girls, like all these things, right?
Yeah.
Well done action sequences. Like,
There's a formula.
if you go to a Michael Bay film, and it does all of that, and it tells a decent story, and it's The Rock, you don't really hate Michael Bay.
Right.
You don't. You have all those elements, and then it's pain and gain. You might not like it, but you can still see like, yeah, it's because it's not really a Michael Bay movie, right?
Transformers too. Throw that in there.
Transformers, but you know what you're getting, and if you get it and it lives up to that, you kind of have to classify it as a different thing.
Right.
So for me, it's like it nailed my expectations. I still wanted more. So does that make it a good movie or not? I don't know.
I mean, this whole thing is so objective and stuff.
Like, I don't think it makes it a good movie, but that doesn't mean that Rohit wasn't doing exactly
he didn't accomplish exactly
what he wanted.
I mean,
to do.
that's a bigger criticism we've
because
said.
it's like
We've said this before of other people's films. Like we're assuming anyways, but we could tell that this guy could do a lot more, but chooses not to because he doesn't have to. And it's the same thing with this. Like, he didn't have to.
He did
what he wanted to because he knew exactly what.
And I personally think he nailed it for doing that.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
I think he nailed the essence of those films.
Right.
I think the people of the South may have had reservations about it because it wasn't a Southern film. Like, you have to amp that up to 10, and so they might not feel like it captures the essence because it wasn't that for the whole fucking movie.
Or they felt like it was a mockery.
And that could be it too.
Yeah.
And if it was, why not?
Cultural appropriation, bro.
Why not have a farce? That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm enjoying it, because it was it almost was like a mockery of Tamil cinema. Mm-hmm. Except at no point did it not take itself seriously. It took itself seriously the whole time. I don't know. So for me, I'm with you on the rating, but I also consider it a success. I think it was a success in terms of directing. Just like I said, I recognized certain elements in terms of the visual design, in terms of the sound design. Like, these are tropes, and he nailed the tropes. It's like Super 8. So you didn't necessarily think Super 8 was the best movie, mm-hmm. but it was 100%, in my opinion, a success at telling a Spielberg tale.
Right.
Stranger Things. It's a success at telling a Spielberg tale.
Right.
That's a Spielberg movie. That's his trope. That's what he invented. You know, he might have stolen from other different.
It's an homage, yeah.
But that's what Yeah.
And
so you can say, you know, is it successful as its own piece? Depends. Stranger Things was whatever.
What do you like better, Super 8 or Stranger Things?
Super 8, 10 times out of 10. And some people would say
They're fucking crazy.
Well, that, and also that Super 8 was just all it was a homage. It was nothing original. Blah, 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 blah. But that's kind of my whole point. If you want to talk about a homage, JJ nailed it all. Mm-hmm. Just like It nailed it all too. Stranger Things nailed it. They nailed that part.
Right.
They nailed that part. But it's everything else afterwards.
So would you say this film is an homage to
Absolutely.
Tamil films?
Yeah.
So he meant it. He didn't mean it as offensive. He meant it as.
I don't think so.
Well, I think
Tamil cinema is cool because of that reason. Did the story suck? Yes. Did the hero moments are fucking annoying? Or they're like KGF? I know KGF is not a Tamil film, but I'm just saying, like, you know, the Sarkar, let's keep it to that. Like, are they annoying? Is it stupid? Yes. I fucking think it's dumb. Because I just don't enjoy that.
You also hated Sarkar.
I like my superheroes wearing costumes.
Got it.
Not normal clothes.
Right.
Like, literally, that's what it is. Because these are all superhero movies.
Yeah.
Like, the whole argument about, like, oh, you don't complain when spot. I get what they're saying now. I get it. It took me a few years, but I get it. Because when you watch Tamil films, not always, but sometimes, they're superheroes.
Right.
They just don't wear costumes. And that's the issue. There's normal people doing extraordinary things.
That's not
that's
the issue. The issue has more to do with like we don't see the origin of their powers. They just come out of nowhere.
Well, because they don't have origins.
Yeah.
Their powers come from within,
Right.
like from strength or from certain.
Superhero films, we see where everything comes from.
Right,
so
and
it all
that's
makes
what I'm
sense
with.
on a
I'm
linear
with.
level.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
But overall, like I enjoyed the film. I thought it was funny, and I totally. See
I enjoyed
why
it. I enjoyed it. I thought
I
it was.
totally see why people didn't want us
Yeah.
to watch it though.
I
Like
thought-
let's not get that, missed in translation here. Like everyone who's saying avoid it, I get why. 100%.
Well, yeah, because they didn't want us to like go in on it and like just 100% shit on it because it.
No, but even then, I still get why it's not a good movie.
Yeah.
Like I get why they would say you should watch Udon or something.
Yeah, but did you go? I'm talking to you guys. Did you go and see this film? Did you enjoy it? Did you have a good time watching it? Because we did. We had a good time watching it. I mean,
and sometimes that's all cinema's about is
really,
being entertainment.
that is all that matters at the end of the day. Sometimes because there are films that we consider bad that weren't entertaining as well. Those are the films that we really go in on and tear apart
because they just have
They just
nothing to
weren't-
offer.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't. We didn't have a good time watching it, which is Daniel's angry review stemmed from that, where he's watching this film and everything. It's just not good. Like he just gets mad because he spent 3 hours of his life, sometimes longer. How long was Kalong?
3 hours.
Yeah.
About 3 hours too long.
Yeah. Like where you're just pissed off because you could be
That
doing
was just
something
a bad
else.
movie.
Yeah. So that's. I think that's gonna do it for us.
Yeah.
So anything else you want to add?
No.
All right. Well, guys, make sure you like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Let us know in the comment section. I really want to know the parts that, if you're a Southern Indian, that you found offensive about this film, because we don't know. I want to learn. I want to know. I can
we're
tell the
just
difference.
assuming.
Yeah, we're making assumptions here. So let us know exactly what we didn't pick up on.
Well,
We
you're
really
starting to learn
appreciate it.
what? You were saying you're starting to what?
No, I'm starting to, like, obviously, physically, I'm seeing major differences between, which I wouldn't have, had you asked me 4 years ago, couldn't have told you. This guy's just a little darker than that guy. That would have been it, and that would have been, like, nothing to me, because that's Latinos. Some of us are darker than other guys. But this is, culturally, there's different cultures within the same subcontinent. So, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.